What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and some more Birthright coverage as we continue our series of the character classes here. So we're moving on to the Thief today, and we're going to be taking a look at them not just as a player character class, but then also some of their potentials as domain rulers, right, as regents. So one of the classes that has honestly the least amount of requirements to be that in this particular setting, and again, always try to preserve as much flavor from the classic settings as possible. So for this, again, just have to have a dexterity of 9. Obviously, if you're playing a thief, probably going to be your best stat anyway, so not too difficult versus some of the other classes we've looked at, like popping over to the magician, right? Pretty hefty requirements all around. We've seen that for some of the other classes too. So the thief, really not that difficult, right? So, and important as well, any race can be a thief in this setting as well. I know some things are limited, like again, the magician, only humans could be that. So, as they say here, so all the common and blooded thieves operate as detailed in the player's handbook. So there, depending on what edition you're playing, presumably 5th, take as much as you can from that, certainly. Thief regents, however, may command a personal retinue. The thief regent rules a province in addition, a thief regent who rules a province in addition to his guilds, right? Because not all the guild leaders, as we've seen in the Domain Review series, necessarily rule a political territory or province. They may gain 4d6 plus 10 bodyguards. And again, roll on the table. We've seen that at the very start of the series, so go back and check the fighter video just because that's on that initial page there. So various types of bodyguards can be possible. But anyway, so 4d6 plus 10. If the regent doesn't rule a province, then they gain something a little different, basically 2d6 plus 5, 0-level thugs, informants, and spies or smugglers in their home province. And again, that's one where certainly it's fun to flesh out. If you're the regent, work with the DM and all that. Give you all these thugs and stuff, personalities, fill them out. We always like doing like actual character sheets for these guys, give them names, backstories, and just really fleshes things out. So that way, as they maybe become valuable for you, you can kind of almost treat them like, NPCs certainly, but, like really important members of your organization. And then obviously if you lose some of them, it's just that much more impactful when they actually have a name, a story, and stuff like that, as opposed to just bodyguard 1, 2, 3, whatever. So these criminals aren't interested in open field battles or chasing the Anshalian. They won't leave the province under normal circumstances. Now certainly if you order them to, right, you're the regent. But in addition, the Thief Regent has thugs available in all guild holdings, so it's pretty cool there. So the number of thugs available equals 2d6 plus the level of the holding. And so even at a level 1, right, you could have up to 12 in there. Or, just even, starting a random holding, level 0, hey, you still could have up to 12. The domain, I guess 13 if it's a level 1, right? The domain rule explains this in detail. We'll get into that later on. These locals won't leave their native province, so again, just keep that in mind, but can provide a regent with additional informants and muscle when visiting their holdings. So certainly the way I would treat it is your main bodyguards and or thugs that come with your status, basically, those really should be allowed to go to other provinces, right? Those are your main men, sort of your enforcers. The local ones that are tied to the actual guild holding, sure, they can be restricted to the province. And then the thugs are normally unarmored or wear leather or padded armor. Again, feel free to customize. It's always a fun part, as long as the DM is cool with everything you're doing there. They may be armed with club, dagger, short sword, or light crossbow, but rarely carry heavier weapons. If the regent is a merchant prince, as opposed to some underworld figure, the thugs are basically then, a little bit fancier status, right? Employees, craftsmen, or workers who can be diverted from other tasks. And, it's kind of fun to blend the two a little bit. You have the sort of official front and then some of the shadier, more nefarious things that the other members get up to. As long as a thief regent maintains a holding in a province, basically you can evade arrest indefinitely, which is a really fun perk there, right? Which they put it at the end here, but really that can't be like understated enough. That's just a super cool ability there. So and then, however, if his holding is reduced to 0 or divested, though, that does vanish. So just keep that in mind. You can't get crazy with expanding territory and having a bunch of level 0s. So you don't get that immunity there. But as long as you can at least maintain that level 1, you're good. Ideally higher levels, right? Because other people might, you might lose holding levels, you might suddenly be divested, stuff like that. There's just all kinds of stuff that can happen. Of course, we'll get into that when we start reviewing the domain actions and really how the domain part of the game really functions. But that is just as a perk that really no other class has. And so, if you're getting up to all kinds of trouble, even if it's, let's say, not in your home territories, so to speak, you can cause all kinds of chaos for other domain rulers, and really they essentially can't touch you because you're just going to bounce from hideout to hideout to hideout, and you can definitely use that in some creative ways to really add strength to the class, but also what you can do as a regent. So basically, I would almost treat that like a whole extra domain type of action in the sense that you have another special ability that really no one else has as a domain ruler / regent. So pretty cool class overall. Lots of stuff to get up to, and again, a lot of great examples from the existing domains. So we've seen all the different guilds, trade network guilds, whatever, from the classic setting here. Obviously, eventually we'll talk about all the other areas and expansions in the game, so that will really drastically blow this up. But even some of the more notorious territories. So again, Endir, of course, comes to mind. That's kind of like the sort of peak guild run country. So you got a great blend of the political and then the guild part of it there. So lots of great inspiration to take from that. So, but let us know your thoughts, guys, on the Thief class. How have you used them? Whether you're just an adventurer, how have you performed there, and kind of what types of or what aspects of the class really have you kind of focused on in your various campaigns for that? But then also, as a domain ruler, which domain have you really gravitated towards? Whether, again, some of the political ones that actually have territory, or did you come up the ranks in one of the other types of guilds and things like that? So hit us up, guys. Drop those comments, like, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one, as we'll be moving on to the Bard, and then we're getting close to wrapping things up. Take care.